I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CT Review. Today is October 9, Thursday, 2025. I hope you had a good day today. So we had expansion yesterday, and most likely we'll have a retrace back. This is pretty obvious. You can see the flow here already before 9:30. So we got sell 1, sell 2, sell 3 coming back up. There's one in here, and then sell 4. So really sell 5. So look on the 15-minute. That initial move, that's move 1, right? And then a lower high is formed. You have a change of delivery here with this candle pushing through, pushes back for do a fib, do a breakout level, whatever works for you. But in general speaking, sweeping the opening of today's gap and then another lower low. Then we're fanning out here, penneting or whatever, but just really a little swing high right there with 2 lower highs below it to the left and right. But in general, that's the 9:30 pushing. But move 1, move 2, move 3 pushes all the way up, back up. Sorry, should have this over here. And then see that little internal leg. Here's the first imbalance, by the way. See the midnight level? We're sweeping above it right here. Small opening range gap. You get this. You don't know where the price is going. You have this push up. You have this push down. Okay, push down wick. 2 bearish candles. You have to also look at the candle. Sorry, the candle characteristics of it. What is it? Right? Pops up deep into this, trying to sweep. This little high, and then we swept that high right there, and then it's another drive down. So now you're getting order flow there. So here you'll get that first imbalance. You see we tap in it. You got to include the gap. That's how you'll see us tagging it. We push all the way down. Before we get down, we have from yesterday the PM session. I have here the Tuesday's AM session, right? Wait, yeah, I said that right, yeah. And then I have this all-time high, which is last week's high. So that's see this green line here. And then yeah. So with that being all said here, you'll see that so move 1, 2 pushes down. Look at the bodies here. Using that gap, pushes up for 3. Okay, so sell 3. So 1, 2, 3. Well, no, then this becomes 4 is what I'm trying to say. So here comes 4, comes down. You have this drive inside. That's fine. Having it weak here. There's so much to tell you, but to keep it simple, I have this projected here. I have the 1 and 1.5. We're playing around that pre 9:30. Then we come to 2 to 2.5. You can see that's what's here pre 10 o'clock. And then the 3.5 to 4 is here, which we just drives down. I also have these red lines. There's nothing else on the chart here, dude. But besides the you see the negative standard deviations. But the weekly range is this so far. I have a 20, a 40, and this is the 50 right here because I wanted to see where it was going to go for the buy. And fair delivery is obviously underneath the 50, but it didn't have to. Could have bought up from there. So take a look. So first imbalance. So we come through to this imbalance right here. You'll see the body sitting on a 5-minute. Can make this a little shorter. See how the bodies are above here, coming right to the 50, and then rolling over and failing using that area here. Let me go back to it 1 minute. It's a little muddy there. And it's not muddy here. It's just when you see here, they make this low is this support to push up. You get another lower. This leg from here to here, you'll see that we pop into this bearish imbalance. So then we're using this inversion to hold. Look at the 50%, and then the body's underneath. Now we're here at that PM from yesterday's first imbalance that we bought from there, pushed up, right? Got to that 2400 level damn near, missed it by fucking what, 8 points, 5 points, 5 points probably. I told y'all about that 400, 25,400. I was pretty clear about that as well. And notice, take a look here. Look at this right here. Bam, misses it. Not too shabby, right? Not too bad. Point is that you have your drives here, and then this leg from here to here. So we roll over here, right? So we made this low, and the price shouldn't be here, obviously, if it's buying. And then again, we're still in a retrace. So we had an expansion here, retrace here, and then when is it going to do the next expansion? Most likely in the PM session, right? So trickling down here, and then you can see it underneath, and then boom, we get to this one here, and then shake out a little bit, come underneath it twice, bang, bang. We're at the 40% here. Notice how this was the 20% of the range of the weekly, right? So we were underneath that. That's a clean support resistance. Look at this right here. See that shit? All right, real simple, right? You're gonna say, well, you're showing us after the fact. Well, we said expansion yesterday. You're gonna get a retrace. That's the next phase? How deep they want to go? Well, this is a pretty big move, so yeah, makes sense. They came deeper, obviously, right? And then what I was gonna say. So we come underneath here, we tap it. Now we're at the 40. Come hair shy of the 50 right here. See this? Then we are, God, there's so much to say. But when the price action is over here, you can see that we have a -4, we have a -2, and we have that breakout level of last week. Remember? So we're making decisions up, down. Said that yesterday, right? And then we come right to it, right? Boom. We tag it right here. We have a nice, next phase. All right. So we have a push back up. Wow. Comes right into the previous one. And then look at this bouncing right on top here. Change the delivery here with this closure. More of a expansion type of reversal. You notice that we have imbalances on this side here of the curve. So that's a nice thing to push up. Here, you're not really getting that anywhere here, right? Especially two of them. Excuse me. Just the logic of a lower low, and then where's a lower high? You know, at the minimum, comes right to yesterday's PM session, right there. Look at the body sitting here. This is not random. I'm going to show it to you over here too. Then we come down. We don't make another low, so they come right back up. Dirty. They take out that guy right there, and they don't take any of these guys out. You would think they want to take that out, but guess what? It's because their intention is to come back for another lower low. And at that moment, we had a divergence here on NAS. We had a higher high here. We had lower highs here. And then when we were falling at the 930, we had lower highs here and higher highs here. So beautiful there. And then that'll make you understand what I'm showing you. So the thing is that when they make this structure back up, it's like, is it going to push or is it going to stop? You can see it stopping pretty much here, trying to act all tough right there. Then they fall down right there. You know, you're not you want to see a buy, sell, buy, but it's still not in a discount, and institutions are probably not even going to be involved. But where is the most likely draw? See these guys over here. See, remember when I told you about this buy from the 10 o'clock candle? Remember that 10 o'clock candle from yesterday at 10 o'clock? Yeah. 4-hour candle that just pushed up. And on the 1 minute, we came back and we tapped it in there. See how we push up, and by now, when it's pushing up, it's coming. Oh shit! It's coming back down here to squeeze those people out, right? But then here is the objective. Then we ended up having to move over a little bit. It's going to be hard to see. Then you have this -2 standard deviation. Boom, that's where I take the buy here. Look at this to the right side of the chart. So coming back here, we have another drive lower. What's that look like? So shake out here. It's just a lower high here, and then you get your clean lower low, lower highs here. So in this just leg by itself, you're going to see 1 cell, 2 cells, 3 cells, 4 cells, 5 cells, even a 6th. We won't go there. And then, ooh, look at the shift. This looks different than any of these other ones, right? You can see how we close and we stay strong there. Once we break over that swing high right here, clean, retrace back at the 50. We're at the 50. This red line is the 50. That's the 40. So now look at the body sitting there and then just dipping in here. I didn't draw this, but I could. And I didn't do the PM session either, but so we're dipping into that right here. So this is your shift of like, shift here, consolidation, raid, expansion, retrace, and continuing on. Beautiful. To do what? To wipe out all this liquidity here. So there's no other way to put it, but when you have this expansion here, this projection here, of this lower low up, look how we get to the -1 right here, and we cannot get a hair higher. So that right there is also signaling that we're coming back down for another sell. We're also using that PM of yesterday. That's like solid resistance. Do you think this is random? That out of all the places on this chart that we're doing that right there? No way, right? Where's the PM session? We do this. I need to make this video. I want to be done already, to be honest. Where the fuck? I'm sorry. Here. Well, pretty much already just highlighted it. You know this one. Okay, so here's a good lesson, or I guess you could say, where's your first imbalance after 130? Okay, well you have that one there, so that's technically where I should draw it. But what's more significant? What's a more significant imbalance after that one? This one. Why is that? Because it displaced and broke a high. So we're gonna look at that, right? So that's a nice tidbit. Okay. And then gone, right? Not a coincidence above here. And then let's see here. Let's just do we'll do this. All right. And then we can also say this one. Let's try this one here. Well, I don't preferably like that, but let's see here. I'm making this too long. Let's see this right here. Okay, shy of it there. Bodies. Just the bodies. See 2 to 2.5 in there. Damn near 50% exactly. And just the logic of it coming down into here. Fuck the projection. Again, point is, and also let me see here. Well, this is too myopic and too small. But notice how we just hit that 3.5 to 4 now. If you're in, so again, assuming that this is the retrace, obviously it's a retracement, and then assuming that this is going to be an expansion here, I'm probably going to do the whole leg. To be honest, this makes more sense. Why am I picking it like this? Well, because you got a sweep here, and you got a low here, so I'm just measuring that leg. I'm not saying. We'll just see what happens, right? But lower high, lower low, break on this time frame here. So we're finally broke structure. And then what's it called? Yeah, that's pretty much all I can really put for there. Swing low here. So get the raid. This is the 1 o'clock. All right, by the way, time is involved. PM session coming in, and then candle 3 pushing in 50% of that wick right there. Also, we have this tapping in this motherfucker right here. This 1 hour, and then the 4 hour. By the way, see that? So we're sealing that whole one, and then we're coming underneath for good measure. This is what good measure looks like. Well, obviously they could have came really low, right? But right now it's at fair delivery, right? And it's Thursday, so in general speaking, we want to expect an expansion now for the high on Friday, and then pull back in, just like we talked about last week. Not much difference, but yeah, pretty logical. So, and the point of the conversation is, and don't get lost in all this. It's just this right here. I know I got this kind of like just measuring the range, so it looks sloppy, but so look at the body sitting right there on the 15-minute. What's it called? General structure here. Once we expand it, and you got, cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, there's cell 4, cell 5, and 6 becomes, or the move I should say, becomes is the expansion in the larger range. So let's just say move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so now 9. 9 is your finale here. That's what's showing. Good number, right? And then 10 is now just expanding, slithering up. You're forced to buy in, and it's just expanding. So from here, you're going to expect, after an expansion, you get a retrace, constantly pushing back up. Very difficult to buy. That's how they do it. They made it, easy to sell here, obviously, and then now it's easy to buy in a way, but that's their goal, is to keep pushing up. So we're going to see, got to a breakout level here, but in general speaking, we're looking for another expansion. So seasonal data, we should have already had a bigger drop, like I've been talking about, from between the 6th and the 9th, and I guess this was it from yesterday. So obviously, selling yesterday, selling today is pretty obvious. Once we have a large expansion, and especially reaching almost that target that we talked about. Not quite yet, and then 25,500. I think maybe Friday will push it up. We'll see if they do. If they follow through. Well, if not, maybe Monday. But in general, that's pretty much it. We also had when we got here, all right, 1, 2, 3 drives there. Failed one here. We had a lower low here with Dow. We pushed up. Once we pushed up, that's when it rolled over with that higher high here. Pushed down, and then when we bought here, we had a higher low, higher lows. So lower low here with Dow. And then VIX was also kind of moving smooth in a way too. Dollar still pushing up, right? So that might make us weak here. We'll see. But I'm looking at the seasonal data. What's tomorrow? The 10th. Okay, so Friday, especially to Friday. Just looking at it clearly here. Excuse me. We're supposed to be expanding. That's for sure. So I'm probably going to hold on to this trade here. For a new high. Dow, you can see the little pennant there, broke that liquidity. Look, it's pretty, it almost looked obvious like that they were going to smack them. But then again, it's tough. It's tough, right? But where's your clue? No oversoldness here, and looking for liquidity. So now they did sweep that guy out, so it might be good enough. Use this as support right here. Support block all the way. Took that guy out. We'll see if they want to rush, but they have some pullback that they can do. Okay. A little shakeout here. Dropping. And lower low, lower high. There. S&P came back to their opening gap. Deep retrace for them. Still in the 50. Does it roll over or not? Is Thursday the high of the week? Hey, we've already pretty much had a good week. So, don't fight the trend. Keep it simple. If that makes any sense for you. Let's see here. So again, on the daily, we have that swing there. It's getting a little rough. Looks like it wants to drop, but again, we're dealing with between the 10th and the 20th of October is always a sweet spot for a bullish move of expansion. So, let's not try to be smart and keep selling. Selling for a retrace was completely natural in this whole, conversation. As we talked about yesterday, these consecutive down candles closing above, we dipped in there, we expanded yesterday, we dipped back in and fell short of it with S&P, and Nas did hit it again. So again, straight shots down. Yeah, controller price right there, and just came deep to sweep that. Pretty dirty, pretty low too, which, so another thing why when I was drawing the the higher high and higher low example that didn't look pretty when I drew it yesterday. The logic was, okay, we expanded and then a retrace and then another expansion. It's high resistance in a way because as you see, we keep pulling back in, so here, why wouldn't we pull back into a very clear area? Just fucking, you can squint your eyes and see this, right, as a possibility. As you can see, we digged in there, and I don't have the line there on the open, but I'm just using the breakout level, which is to me a little bit more important at this point. But as you can see yesterday, we tapped that perfectly as well. I didn't even mention that yesterday. There's a second thing I forgot to mention, which is I can't remember now. So it's fucking funny. But yeah, that was one of them. And then obviously probably a deeper retracement is maybe more likely in the cards because of this ridiculous expansion of how the way they printed that price and it being a birdie. So now the experience, you can see what you do. When it's floating like that. What's the protocol? How are you trade managing your stop loss and things like that, right? Yeah, and then I can probably put this back. Let me see what this looks like with the bodies. I mean, with the whole swing. Fell short at 3.5. Okay, well, no big deal. Let me do it this way. All right, no, didn't take out the Asia high right there. Flow is really clear. It's not that helpful here, but this is. I like this little swing here. So let me just put that back. But almost reversal type of thing, right? Right there. So, but breaking that high like this and being this high, for me to roll over for another lower low on the 10th, or the narrative of what we got going on is a little bit troubling. But we did come back into the 20 to 40% and even underneath the 50, all in the next day, which is just awesome. I wish every day was like this, to be honest with you, because you already know what to predict if it's going to be after an expansion is a retracement, and then from there you don't know the drives, how many it's going to take, but at least you understand price action and you know what the options are, right? So yeah, this candle right here says it all, these two. But so it's just like, imagine if you sold from here, right? And then you're like, when am I going to get? I'm going to hold it all the way for the drives. Okay, well, you got plenty there. One, group of 1, group of 2, group of 3. This group of 3 has 3, right? So this is how I executed this trade. It's my system, right? Similar ideas here. But you are expecting this type of flow. It needs to keep making new highs. You need to see that, even if you just use a basic trend line, God forbid you use a trend line, right? But it's just that flow. So lower low, lower high. You can see this too. This is not rocket science, but notice how we're hitting that -2 standard deviation right there. This is how I pull the trigger to keep holding it longer. So we'll see what happens here. Easy liquidity, easy selling too. I mean, it was not difficult. If you know you're not hyping to just keep buying here. If you're up here and you're trying to buy it, why? It's too shallow. Now. In a birdie situation, like let's just say we were like, we were down here. You know what I mean? Like we were like at the bottom over here, then you'll see that type of price action where it's so shallow that just this one raid back and then it's already gone, right? But we're not in that type of environment, so you also have to recognize that type of price action and understanding. But it is what it is. I feel like I'm missing something here. I know I'm missing something. I mean, it's already, with the amount of moves that we've had, like it's okay to just wait for it to raid again, because the price shouldn't be here if it's buying, right? So you're not buying this, type of shit. This is a leg, right? So again, I'll do it real quick. Just from here. So both of these highs here are just like the same price action. And then, and I'm anticipating this entire movement, but you understand that like this is a shakeout, right? They're coming up to wipe out some of the sellers, right? They have to immediately run back, by the way, from that first imbalance of the PM session. They have to run back immediately into that rejection wick, that last wick. Look how they fucking come right back into it. They got me there. It's okay because I know what we're trying to do here. But them not taking it out induces another buy here and comes up and sweeps that. All right. And then from there, now you're thinking you're confused. They spend time distortion coming down for just another leg. And again, this leg right here has those cells, right? So you can see the change in hands right here. You can see it right here. You can see it. You're expecting it. If it had came down lower again, it's like, well, fuck, bro. I give up. And generally, if you're buying here, and by the time they're doing this right here, you've gave up on buying. As soon as, even just psychologically, like they freaking know, bro. Like there's no way that this is done by accident, right? Like this is not by accident, right? They're even inducing you to fail in this situation. Or let's play the other flip side of the coin. We're the monkey on their back. They have no choice. Like when they came down here and then they wiped out liquidity to the left here, they have to rush up here to try to wipe out these sellers. And they're like, while they're coming up, they're like, man, we can't do shit about it. Motherfuckers is pushing buy right here. Ain't nothing we can do about it. By the time they get here, they're like, okay, we got to come right back and get all these dudes right here. They don't even take them out on purpose, and that's part of the game. We understand. Look at the high probability of these locations. RSI pretty dope today as far as certain areas, but whatever. But the main point is that now they come up here because now they got some more motherfuckers selling here, and for them to really just barely dig above that and not come any higher, and it could have still rolled over, but if they came any higher, then they most likely would have just kept going, right? Change of delivery on the 15-minute wasn't that clean, but this is a retracement, so it's just two drives. So 1, 2. That's really it. That's why I'm drawing it this way. And then very clear next leg. So now they're rushing for here to wipe out the pool here, and their whole goal, the whole time that we've been discussing all this, was just to get underneath that guy right there. That's it. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care even if it's a fucking algorithm. Fuck this algorithm. I don't care what anybody says. That is exactly what their whole intention was to do, was to get this easy buying. Because once this is pushing up, they lock the price here. So that even they don't expect most traders to have even got in here. But by here, you're above that previous high of the week. And then it's pushing up. You can see it like an expansion and retracement, and then continues as an expansion. So from there on, for good measure, they're coming down here, because now who's got stops? Their stops they're already squeezing it, but some people are still putting it right here, and then very very basic shit, right? And then the 50%. Oh, I moved it. And then generally speaking, that 50% dangled that on purpose, induces buyers here, which is fine, because sometimes it'll buy right above this 50 level in the red here, right? It's just that simple, right? And then here's that rate of that 50, period, right? Mathematically, even, there's just people waiting for it to be buying here. So by the time they get pushed off, you have all types of traders that they're just brilliant the way they're just. But obviously, by the time they come up here, it's what the task is, right? We slithered above all this, right? And so on. Why? Because remember, this sell here, okay? This sell here, you're getting in, and then from here, while it's rolling down here, you're selling, because you know price action. it's not even about a trend line, but just in general, you see, just in general, you know, that's not rocket science either, right? But and they're cleaning that up, and now I'm making a short video long. It's what I love to do. Obviously, that was another tell when we're pushing up here, right? So we've they've decided to gap and then push up even higher, which is amazing and crazy. But so we're kind of like, again, we're in an expansion here, unless this was that reversal for now, and then this is the lower low, that's the lower high. See, conveniently breakout. You immediately want to come back in, but this is the fourth candle for expansion. On the fifth, this would be the fifth. It could dig in. You want to see a retrace and push back up. I mean, that's in general speaking. To come back again lower, sure, they could do that. It'd be something like this, where we made a high, we retraced. Here, we made a high, then retrace. Then, once we break up for a new high here, I'm talking about this leg here. Here, we made a high, and then we come down and make a lower high, like it would be in this case, and then it's going to flush the liquidity to the left. In this case, it could be this sell model, but I'm gonna be honest, who knows? With this data, with this seasonal data, it's just a little funny, but it is the 10th, and let me see, it's not nowhere near the 5 years, so we've already came down, so it just makes sense for another expansion. Notice, yesterday I said that propulsion block here, we tag into this next down candle, and it's using it as the open of the previous day, and then we're tagging in and digging into that for good measure. Because once this yesterday candle expands past that open, well, the algorithm needs to come back because it knows people made decisions on buying right there. Look where it coincidentally is, this area that we just talked about. So yeah, and I don't know. I don't want to make it longer videos. You guys take care. God bless. Well, I didn't draw it. No, fuck it. Hold on a second. Oh my god. Gotta go. This is all I'm really. What the hell did I just do? I just want to see that and get into this 400 to 450 level. Makes sense to me. And then just leave it at that. But that's what I meant by when I drew this shit here. I was trying to draw that kind of movement, but it happened to be a deeper retracement. So that's still the same idea of what I was talking about. But all right, so this is the bullish scenario, period. Right? I don't know how deep it wants to go. Maybe just here. And then if they want to come down one more time, then I don't know. It depends how Asia runs, right? Right now we have a bearish day, so I'm expecting for it to come back into the wick. Maybe it'll do something like that. Who knows? And then be a bullish day. So that means tomorrow we have another higher low on a daily candle, where like we just did here between Tuesday and Wednesday, right? So we dip in, it's strong. So notice how no imbalances, it resealed, so still could show big strength, but another higher low, which is what we made today here. So does Friday obviously make another higher low and then make the high of the week? Then I will expand this. Let's just say we make a high and we go to fucking 450. Who knows? I don't know, right? And then does it want to retrace and then it settle for the week, right? Just keeping it simple there. Other than that, you guys take care. God bless.